Hi, my name's Dave Brons. I write instrumental guitar music with a Celtic symphonic twist. For my new album, I decided rather than spend £3,000 on a hot-rodded Marshall Plexi, I'd make my own. These videos are a diary of that process. So the amp is completed, and I guess the time has come to ask, is it possible to build this amp for under £500, which is about sort of $600–700. So I've just looking at the parts list here. So I've got the chassis was £43 from Tubetown. All the sort of capacitors and wire and all that kind of stuff, that was £166. Face plates at the front, £40. And then the transformers, the original transformers I got quite cheap for £75, but I blew one up, so that added another £100 onto the build. And then the effects loop was £60. And also the cabinet cost me £40 in materials, which is fairly cheap. So that total comes to £549, which is just over £500 obviously. If I hadn't have blown that transformer up or had to replace the transformer, this build would have actually come in at about £450, which is still, you know, not a small sum of money. But when you consider the amp that it's based on is £3,600, and even with all the mistakes I made and the savings, coupled with some of the savings, like the savings I made on the cabinet and stuff, it still comes out at £3,000 cheaper basically than going out and buying the real thing. So the question is, does it sound as good as an actual Friedman BE100? Well, yeah, I'll let you be the judge of that in the next section where you're going to hear the clips of it played. But I've got to tell you, I've played lots of amps, and because I can build my own amps, I've always been pretty unimpressed when I've tried amps out. You know, a lot of these high-end amps that people pay crazy money for. But I went to the NAMM show in Los Angeles, California a couple of years ago and tried out the Friedman BE100, and I was blown away, to be honest. It sounded so good and it felt so good to play, and for the first time in a long time I was like, man, I've got to build one of these amps. Now if you want an amp that sounds like a Friedman BE100 and you have £3,500 to spend, you know, by all means go and get one. For me, £3,500 would be half the budget that I need to record my new album. So really it was out of the question for me to go and spend that kind of money. But they are fantastic amps. Does this sound like a Friedman? I don't know, because I haven't got this amp and I can't take it back to NAMM, to where I first played one, and it kind of blew my mind. But as you'll see in the next clips, it feels like when I play it, I feel really similar to how it felt to play a proper Friedman for the first time. It feels really good to play. You'll see that in the clips coming up. So yeah, so we didn't quite get in under £500 for the build, but we came really close, and if I hadn't have blown the transformer up, we would have done it. Okay, with no further ado, let's go and listen to this thing. Then you guys can make your mind up if you think the amp sounds amazing or not. Hey guys, so here we are. The amp is all finished. You just heard me just give it the first test. Now I'm just going to go through and play a bit through the various channels, and so we can just hear how it sounds. So the first thing we're going to check out is just the clean channel. So as you can hear, the clean channel is really nice and bright. Sometimes with clean channels on amps like this one, which is mainly designed for, you know, high gain stuff, the clean channels don't sound very sparkly, but this one sounds really nice. So that's great. Let's just hear it with a bit of the old Strymon delay on. Great, so that's sounding pretty cool. So now let's just try the drive channel. I'm just gonna, the channel switching works as well. I'm just controlling it via the foot switch. So I'm just gonna start with a fairly low gain, just see how that works. Sounds quite crunchy, like a plexi should. Quite cleans up real nice. So let's try it with even lower. Up the gain a little bit more now.
So again, cleans up nicely. Let's go really dial the gain up now. Let's see what we've got. So again, even at high gain settings, it really cleans up. Wow, I mean the sustain there is incredible. It still doesn't sound fizzy though. Wow, I mean, I find it kind of amazing how the sustain you can get there and then how it cleans up, and really no real fizz at all. It just sounds chunky and woody. So I'm super pleased with how this amp has come out, guys. So thanks for sticking with me through the 11 video series. I don't actually make amps for a living. I sell music for a living, so I'd be really grateful if you could head over to davebrons.com and check out my music. It's been described as Steve Vai crossed with Lord of the Rings. It's kind of Celtic, symphonic, instrumental guitar rock. So thanks for watching, and take care, guys.